Your Excellency João Manuel Gonçalves Lourenço, President of the Republic of Angola and Chairperson of the African Union, Your Excellency Dr. Terence Trio, Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis and Chair of the Caribbean Community, Your Excellency Abiy Ahmed Ali, Prime Minister of the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia, our generous host, Your Excellencies, the heads of state and government, Your Excellency Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, Chairperson of the African Union, Your Excellency Carla Barnett, Secretary General of the Caribbean Community, Your Excellency Selma Malika Haddadi, Deputy Chairperson of the African Union, Your Excellencies, the heads of delegations of African countries and Caribbean countries, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I am deeply honored to convey warm greetings and best wishes from the Secretary General of the United Nations, your friend, Antonio Guetteres, who regrets not being able to join you here today in beautiful Addis Ababa at his second Africa-Caricom Summit. This summit is rich in historical significance, bringing together in person for the first time leaders of the African continent and those of the African diaspora in the Caribbean. It is a unique opportunity to strengthen long-standing ancestral and cultural ties while exploring new areas of collaboration, including trade, investment, tourism, science, and technology. Your joint summit also illustrates the importance that the African Union and CARICOM attach to multilateralism. Multilateralism is indeed alive, embodied in the values, principles, and work of organizations such as the African Union and CARICOM, which, in accordance with the Charter of the United Nations, seeks to enhance international cooperation, to maintain international peace and security, and to develop friendly relations among nations. At last year's summit of the future, Secretary General Antonio Guterres called for a better network and inclusive multilateral system, drawing on the expertise of all humanity. Your gathering illustrates best the true spirit of a network, inclusive, and people-centered multilateral system, which indeed underpins the Africa-Caricom Summit, for which the United Nations commends you. At this juncture, I wish to acknowledge the government of Benin for establishing a legal pathway for descendants of sub-Saharan Africans to formally reconnect with their ancestral homeland. This emblematic initiative illustrates the immense potential for deepening ties between African and Caribbean countries and people, including the African diaspora, going forward. Excellencies, you are holding this important summit under the theme Transcontinental Partnership in Pursuit of Reparatory Justice for Africans and People of African Descent through Reparations. In this connection, I would like to recall the statement of the Secretary General Antonio Guterres at the 30th Ordinary Session of the Assembly of the African Union, held in February this year here in Addis Ababa, in which he said, and I quote him, "The world must never forget that Africa, and to this I would like to add the Caribbean, is the victim of two colossal compounded injustices. Firstly, the slave trade. The roots stretch back centuries, and the bitter fruit continues to affect Africans and people of African descent to this day. Decolonization alone in itself was not a panacea. Political independence did not free countries from structures based on exploitation and decades of economic, social, and institutional underinvestment. It is high time for reparatory justice frameworks to be put in place. Secondly, Africa and the Caribbean were under colonial domination when today's multilateral system was created, and that injustice endures. End of quote. Through your collective advocacy, this historical injustice is now widely acknowledged. The United Nations welcomes the growing consensus towards reforming global institutions such as the United Nations Security Council and the Bretton Woods institutions. The Secretary General has been and continues to be particularly vocal in this regard. Excellencies, people everywhere are hoping for a future of peace, dignity, and prosperity, which serves as a basis of common cause between Africa and the Caribbean. As the Secretary General noted, correcting age-old injustices is essential to addressing here and now challenges. And the good news is that we have many of the solutions we need, many of which feature in the Pact for the Future, adopted in September last year by the General Assembly. It will be a future that prioritizes dialogue and negotiation, ending the wars that are tearing our world apart, including by leveraging for the whole of humanity the immense potential presented by modern technologies such as artificial intelligence. It should also be a future ushering in a new era of relations between nations based on sovereignty, collective peace, in larger freedom. Excellencies, allow me, on behalf of the Secretary General Antonio Guterres, to wish you productive deliberations. And I thank you for your kind attention.